2,000 targets, 49 Iranian leaders eliminated, 6 American soldiers dead. And in the middle of all of this, the White House press secretary snapped on live television. Welcome back. If you are watching this, you are about to get everything that the mainstream media is either spinning, burying, or deliberately getting wrong, all in one place. Today, we are breaking down 3 explosive stories that are dominating Washington right now. 1, the Iran war, Operation Epic Fury, and what really happened at today's White House briefing. 2, Karoline Leavitt's fiery, testy confrontation with CNN that left the press room stunned. And 3, Donald Trump's secret Texas Senate endorsement. Sources say it is coming soon, and the political earthquake it could trigger. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand this moment in American history better than 90% of people watching the news right now. Let's go. Let's start with the biggest story on the planet right now. On February 28th, 2026, the United States of America and Israel launched one of the most massive coordinated military operations since World War II. The operation was codenamed Operation Epic Fury on the American side and Operation Roaring Lion by Israel. And the scale of this is almost impossible to comprehend. In just the first 100 hours of this operation, the U.S. military alone struck nearly 2,000 targets inside Iran. Over 2,000 munitions were fired. That is not a surgical strike. That is a campaign designed to fundamentally dismantle Iran's military capability. What were they targeting? According to the U.S. Central Command, the operation had 4 primary military objectives. Number 1, destroy Iran's ballistic missile production facilities and launch capabilities. Number 2, eliminate Iran's naval forces. And this has essentially been accomplished. The Pentagon has confirmed Iran's navy has been reduced to, quote, 0. Number 3, prevent Iran from developing or deploying a nuclear weapon. Iran's nuclear infrastructure has been specifically targeted and largely destroyed. And number 4, eliminate Iranian leadership, the individuals who have been funding, directing, and enabling terrorism across the Middle East for decades. And on that 4th objective, the results have been staggering. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt confirmed on Monday that 49 Iranian leaders have been, quote, wiped off, including Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei himself. Iran's state media confirmed Khamenei's death early on March 1, 2026. This is historic. The Supreme Leader of Iran gone. The IRGC headquarters destroyed. Iran's Central Command struck.
Under the leadership of President Donald J. Trump, the rogue Iranian terrorist regime is being absolutely crushed. 47 years of tolerating and enabling the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism are over. Iran's murderous terrorist leaders are paying for their crimes against America.
Now, this did not come without cost to American forces. As of today, March 4th, 6 U.S. service members have been killed in this conflict. The first casualties were confirmed on March 1st when 3 troops were killed and 5 were seriously wounded. Iranian drone strikes in Kuwait were responsible. By March 2nd, that number had risen to 6 killed and 18 seriously wounded. President Trump has confirmed he attended a dignified transfer ceremony for the fallen soldiers. He has also made clear this campaign is not over. Trump has told reporters the operation could last approximately 5 weeks. And when asked whether he would send ground troops into Iran, the president said, and this is a direct quote, "I don't have the yips with respect to boots on the ground if they were necessary." The White House has since clarified that ground troops are, quote, not currently being considered. But the door has not been closed. Meanwhile, the ripple effects of this war are being felt everywhere. The State Department has urged Americans to leave 14 countries across the Middle East immediately. As of today, an estimated 9,000 Americans have safely departed the region, with military and charter aircraft being used to facilitate evacuations. U.S. embassies in several Middle Eastern capitals have been closed. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has confirmed that additional U.S. forces are arriving in the Middle East as the operation intensifies. And just today, a U.S. attack boat torpedoed an Iranian frigate off Sri Lanka, marking yet another expansion of the conflict's reach. Now let's talk about what happened today at the White House, because this press briefing was unlike anything we have seen in months. At approximately 1 p.m. Eastern Time on March 4th, 2026, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt stepped up to that podium, and things got heated almost immediately. One analysis piece described it bluntly, quote, "Leavitt is one of the smoothest operators in the Trump administration, but today she was flustered from the start, and it only got worse." So what triggered it? The flashpoint came over coverage of the American soldiers who have been killed in this war. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had previously made comments suggesting that the media, specifically CNN, was covering the deaths of U.S. troops in a way designed to make President Trump look bad politically, rather than honor the sacrifice of the fallen. CNN anchor Kaitlan confronted Leavitt directly about those comments at today's briefing. Collins pressed the press secretary on whether Hegseth's framing was appropriate, essentially asking, is it right to accuse journalists of weaponizing dead soldiers for political purposes? And that is when Leavitt snapped. Leavitt pushed back forcefully, defending Hegseth and attacking CNN's coverage. She accused the network of what she called fake news coverage of American casualties in Iran. She called out the network's anchor by name, something that is always significant when a White House press secretary does it, and insisted that the administration has been transparent about every casualty, every dignified transfer, and every sacrifice. Leavitt also made a notable statement regarding Americans who are currently stranded in the Middle East. She said, and this is important, that Americans in the region had been given prior warning to evacuate before Iranian retaliatory attacks began. She said the State Department had issued clear guidance and that resources were available. The implication being, if Americans are stranded, it is not because the government failed to warn them. She also addressed the question of ground troops directly. Leavitt said ground troops are, quote, not currently being considered, but she declined to rule them out entirely, echoing the president's own position. Now, here is what I want you to understand about the significance of this briefing. Leavitt has been one of the most polished, controlled press secretaries in recent White House history. Her ability to stay on message, to deflect, redirect, and stay calm under pressure has been widely noted even by people who disagree with the administration's politics. So when analysts are describing her as flustered from the start, that tells you something. The pressure inside this White House right now is immense. 6 American soldiers are dead. The war is expanding. Democratic senators are calling it an illegal war. Congress is debating war powers, and the administration is trying to simultaneously conduct a major military campaign and manage a domestic political firestorm. The 4 key military objectives Leavitt outlined today are, number 1, destroy Iran's offensive missile capabilities. This is about eliminating the threat of Iran lobbing missiles at Israel, at Gulf allies, at American forces. Number 2, destroy Iran's naval forces. This has largely been accomplished. Number 3, prevent Iran from building a nuclear weapon. Nuclear infrastructure has been struck. Number 4, eliminate Iranian leadership who have, in the administration's words, quote, committed crimes against America. And she made one thing crystal clear: when Operation Epic Fury is complete, in her words, the world will be a safer place. Whatever your politics, that is a bold historic claim, and whether it proves true will define this presidency. Now let's shift gears, because while a war is being fought in the Middle East, a different kind of battle is heating up right here in America, and it has Donald Trump at the center of it. Texas, the biggest Republican state in the country. And right now, there is a Senate primary race that could reshape the GOP for the next decade, with Trump holding all the cards. Here is what you need to know. Texas has a United States Senate primary race that features 3 Republican heavyweights fighting for the right to potentially be the next senator from the Lone Star State. Those 3 candidates are: 1, Senator John Cornyn, a 4-term incumbent, one of the longest-serving Republicans in the Senate, a Washington establishment figure who has worked closely with Trump, but also with Democrats when it suited him. 2, Ken Paxton, the Texas Attorney General, a firebrand conservative who was impeached by the Texas state legislature in 2023, acquitted in the Senate, and has emerged even more politically aggressive than before. He is viewed by many MAGA loyalists as the true conservative in this race. And 3, Congressman Wesley Hunt, a 2-term U.S. representative from Houston, a black conservative and Army veteran who has been positioning himself as a fresh face, younger, energetic, with strong MAGA credentials. Now, on February 28th, just as the Iran operation was launching, Trump traveled to Corpus Christi, Texas. He stood on stage with all 3 candidates. He praised all 3. He introduced all 3. And then he walked away without endorsing anyone, and the media went crazy. Here's what Trump actually said. He told reporters, quote, "I've pretty much made my decision on whom to endorse," but he refused to say a name. He told the crowd he likes Cornyn, he likes Paxton, he likes Hunt, and then he flew back to Washington with the entire Texas Republican Party in suspense. Then came the Texas primary on March 4th, today. The results are in, and according to projections, the Texas Senate Republican primary is heading to a runoff between incumbent Senator John Cornyn and Attorney General Ken Paxton. Neither candidate crossed the 50% threshold needed to avoid a runoff, meaning this fight is heading to May 26th. And now, sources close to the president are saying the endorsement is coming soon. Why does this matter so much? Because whoever Trump endorses will almost certainly win the runoff. That is the power Trump has over the Republican primary electorate in 2026. His endorsement is essentially a golden ticket, and the stakes are enormous. If Trump endorses Cornyn, it signals that the establishment, the Senate leadership, the traditional Republican governance model still has a home in MAGA world. Cornyn has been loyal to Trump on most issues, but he is also a deal maker. He has worked across the aisle. If Trump endorses Paxton, it is a declaration of war against the Republican establishment. Paxton has been one of the most aggressive, confrontational AGs in the country. He has been investigated by the FBI, he was impeached, he survived, and he is arguably more MAGA than almost anyone else in this race. A Paxton endorsement sends a message. Trump wants fighters, not deal makers. And here is the political context that makes this even more fascinating. Trump is currently managing a full-scale war in the Middle East. His approval numbers on the war are being watched closely. A Gallup poll taken in the early days of the conflict showed that while most Americans initially supported the strikes, concerns are growing, especially with American soldiers now dying. And sources inside the Texas Republican Party say Trump's endorsement decision in this Senate race may actually be influenced by how he wants to be perceived politically heading into the midterm cycle. One senior Republican strategist told NBC News, quote, "Trump's takeover of the GOP is being tested in real time in Texas. This is the most significant primary race he has stayed out of, and the entire party is watching." Congressman Wesley Hunt, for his part, finished third in the primary and will not advance to the runoff. But he has not ruled out throwing his support behind one of the top two, and his endorsement of either Cornyn or Paxton could be decisive in a runoff. The bottom line on Texas, the endorsement is coming. Sources say soon. When it does, it will send shockwaves through not just Texas, but through every Republican Senate primary across the country in 2026. Now let's zoom out, because when you look at today, March 4th, 2026, in its totality, what you are actually witnessing is a presidency under maximum pressure. A sitting American president is conducting a major military operation against a sovereign nation, a nation that has been an enemy of the United States for nearly 50 years. 6 Americans are dead. 18 are seriously wounded. The war is in day 4. Trump himself has said it could last 5 more weeks. Senators from both parties are questioning the legality of the war under the War Powers Act. Democratic lawmakers are calling it, quote, an illegal war. And the White House press secretary is visibly rattled at the podium. At the same time, in the same news cycle, that same president is playing kingmaker in one of the most consequential Senate primaries in the country. While the world watches Iran, Texas Republicans are watching Truth Social, waiting to see who Trump will anoint. This is what governing in the Trump era looks like: maximum velocity, maximum drama, maximum stakes. Here are the 3 things to watch in the coming days. Watch number 1, the pace of Operation Epic Fury. Trump says the campaign could last 5 weeks. The U.S. military says it wants to control Iranian airspace soon. If that happens, if American and Israeli jets are flying freely over Iran, the war enters a completely different phase. Watch for any announcement about Iranian leadership seeking negotiations. Watch number 2, American casualties. Right now, 6 dead is a number that the American public is absorbing. But if that number climbs, if a major Iranian strike kills dozens of U.S. service members, the domestic political calculus changes dramatically. Congress is already pushing back. The War Powers resolution clock is ticking. Watch number 3, Trump's Texas endorsement. It is coming. When it drops, watch how fast the Texas Republican Party reorganizes around that pick, and watch what it says about Trump's vision for the Republican Party going into the 2026 midterms. That is today's full breakdown. Let me know in the comments. Who do you think Trump should endorse in Texas? Cornyn, Paxton, or was Hunt your pick? And what do you think about Operation Epic Fury? Is this the right move for America? If this video gave you information you couldn't get anywhere else, hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second, and it genuinely helps this channel reach more people who deserve to know the truth. Hit subscribe if you are new. We cover American politics with the depth, the honesty, and the context it deserves. Hit the bell so you never miss a breaking update. Links to every source I used today today are in the description below. Every claim in this video is backed by reporting from Reuters, CBS News, The Hill, Fox News, NPR, NBC News, CNN, and official U.S. government sources. This is an evolving story. I will be back with updates as this war develops and as that Texas endorsement drops. Until then, stay informed, stay sharp, and I will see you in the next one.